And we're live. Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comic 5 Minutes. I'm your host, Shorty. And before we get into it, this is probably only 5 minutes. I know I usually go a little bit over, but just be prepared for this one. There's a lot to talk about. Because we're going to be reviewing Mindset, a new one from Vault Comics. And if you've been following this channel for a while, you know I'm a big fan of Vault Comics. I read a lot of their stuff. And sometimes I'll just read it, even if I never actually pick it up regularly, because I just enjoy what they do and it's worth talking about. And this is probably one of the better examples that I've seen, if not ever, certainly for a very long time. And there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things I like about it. There's a few things where I thought it was actually going to rub against me the wrong way, but they didn't. And in fact, on more than one occasion, those things ended up being reasons why I loved it. We're going to get to the artwork later, because that's what really grabbed me. Like when you open a copy, flick it through the artwork and the layouts, all that kind of thing is going to jump off the page far more than the writing will. However, we're going to start with something which almost could have been a bad one for me. Which is when I looked at how much writing there was and how it was laid out, because there's quite a lot of boxed out text, and there's like all over the place. Not as much dialogue as I was going to expecting when I was first looking through, and I thought it could be a little bit frustrating. I thought this is going to be less narrative flow, more exposition, which is what you get a lot of with box out text, specifically with people who don't really understand how you can make a comic book work. I was very, very wrong. And the writer for this one, Mr. Zach Kaplan, completely convinced me I was wrong on that one. And he used this kind of box out text and basically the dialogue in the real time frame, as it were, matching with the text, which is reminiscing what happened. He does it in such a way that it feels like there's a conversation happening between the two different time periods. The dialogue and the text overlaps really nicely. And sometimes they disagree with each other. Sometimes it's remembering incorrectly. Sometimes it is, I think, more just the idea that he's not been honest with how he's relaying exactly what's happening. But it works so beautifully that it drags you into the story, makes you want to figure out why these differences are there. And he does such a good job of it that it is captivating. It is, like I say, like a conversation. It's immaculately well done. The other thing that was a big potential bugbear, it reminded me a little bit of something that happened in Daredevil not too long ago, which is Zdarsky doing it, where there was apparently this toxic chemical or this gas that people were putting into Hell's Kitchen, which would basically make people more likely to commit crimes, recidazole or something like that. And it just felt like a really tacky, lazy way of basically saying, oh yeah, but once the bad guys stop pumping this gas in, then there's no reason why people will commit crimes anymore, as if ignoring that there's actual structural inequality and poor neighborhoods ruined by crime, and usually as a result of poverty rather than the other way around. It just felt like a really lazy thing for Zdarsky to do. And when I was reading this, I was thinking to myself, this is going to be doing that similar kind of hackneyed pseudo-scientific way of saying, oh yeah, but wouldn't it be really creepy if apps could just by some kind of scientific magic control your mind? Which is kind of ignoring the fact that this happens due to data mining and algorithmic stuff that I don't understand exactly how it works, but I understand that it works. If you want to know like actual genuine terrifying stories about it, just Google stuff like when online retailers are sending out coupon books to families with stuff about childbirth and pregnancy in there before anyone in the house realizes that they're pregnant, because they managed to data mine this information based on just totally unrelated search history that they know what it means. It is terrifying what these companies can do. So the idea that it's just, oh no, this is now just going to be a hand wavy look, it wouldn't be terrifying if this was a thing. I could tell myself I was getting a little bit wound up. It's like, no, this actually does happen. But no, masterfully again, Kaplan makes sure that he lays out exactly that this is an actual problem. These companies are terrible. They do this. I'm willing to bet that some people maybe watching this on YouTube or TikTok might only be seeing it because I tag stuff like Vault Comics and the author and the writer, and I'll put the title of the comic book in. I use review and geek and comic book TikTok. These kind of things are going to put it in front of people who might not have thought they wanted to know about it, but now are going to find out about it. It's how it works. He put all this out there and made sure that anyone reading it knew that this was something different. It wasn't just a way of saying, oh yes, but wouldn't it be spooky if? It's like, no, there is now a genuine weird thing that's going to happen. But it's not just that it happens, it's the fact that it is going to be, the intent was that it was going to be used to help people, to help them escape from this kind of world of falling into hate-filled rabbit holes on YouTube or what have you, and actually try to get them to accomplish things that they want to do rather than what the internet and social media tells them they want to do. And he very early lays out that this is actually going to be totally manipulated by very wealthy tech moguls, because they only see these kind of things as a way of branding and marketing and reaching more people and pushing influence and making money. This is done really, really well. It absolutely encapsulates the actual evil of this society that's going on there, but also how even the most well-intentioned understanding of it can be turned on its head. Also, once all those things are taken care of, it's also just genuinely well written. There's some really nice background onto the main character's family, how his parents caused like their own trauma and harm, but it's not just put in there for set dressing, as it were. It's not just adding extra dimensions. It feeds into the story. It makes sense to put everything in there. It doesn't feel like there's a wasted beat in this entire thing, and it's beautiful to see it. Everything is done in service of the story, and there's no let's just do something because it'd be fun. There's no I don't want to say there's no experimentation, because there is, but most of that actually comes in the layouts and the visual storytelling. And here we get on to John Pearson's, who is absolutely amazing. I don't know if he's going to watch this, but if he does, I just want to let you know that Martin Simmons needs to be genuinely worried if he's going to keep getting work, if you're going to keep putting stuff out that's this good. There is definitely a stylistic similarity, but you do it exceptionally well. There is one moment quite early on which absolutely had me hooked, because it reminded me of a painting from my childhood. My dad bought it from a market in Saudi Arabia. I doubt it was done by anyone famous, but it was an Arabian city seen from the ocean at night, reflected into the sea. And when I saw this, I was just absolutely stunned. It looks amazing. I like even the white silhouette against the dark sky. I love the ethereal nature of it. And I was like, okay, this is actually something very special. And it isn't just that the artwork is beautiful, although it is exceptionally, and throughout. Again, stuff does add to the story. He uses page layouts in interesting ways. There's a bit early on when we are doing a bit of reminiscing, and panel breakdown kind of happens, and stuff from panels in the future leaks into panels from the past, but panels of the past seem to be able to see what's happening in the future, but the entire thing is seen from the point of view of the future anyway, and that playing around with time and how we perceive things is brilliantly done. Quite often he just does no panning and no gushing whatsoever, and still managed to tell very accurately timed stories. He does great double page layouts where the dialogue flows serpentine throughout, much harder to follow than some people would. No, actually, that's not right. It looks like it would be much harder to follow. If you're used to comic book writing and that left, right, top to bottom kind of way of doing it, it could be like, oh, how am I going to follow this one? At no point did I struggle. The writing was lyrical at times, and it suited that flow to it. And the way the page was laid out just made it so much easier to follow it around, and the visual storytelling came into it as well. Now, yeah, I'm already 8 minutes, so you know I like it because I talk about stuff more when I absolutely love it. What I'm also going to do is, I very rarely do this kind of thing, but I have a list of stuff that I put on where I think it could be one of my best of the year. Sometimes over the course of the year, things get scribbled out or get changed. Last year I had various Superman titles on there that got reduced down to just one. And my list at the moment already has mindset on there. You probably can't tell clearly because my handwriting is terrible, but literally after just picking up reading this issue, I absolutely adored it, and I can't wait to see what else happens. Thank you very much for creating it. If you're looking to have a comic book store nearby who has one in stock and you haven't ordered it, try and go and find one today. I hope you won't be disappointed. I certainly was not. That's it for me for this week, though. I'm done. I'll be back on Tuesday. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.